so many former players for the Eagles that are in San Francisco, coaches. You mentioned Scarangelo, who was here briefly, but you have Hassan Ridgeway now, a free agent defensive tackle that you signed. He was good in Philadelphia. The problem was injuries with him. He had 2 of his seasons cut short, but he's a good guy. He can help your defensive front, I think. The Eagles just weren't going to bring him back. They went out and they got Jordan Davis, but I like Hassan Ridgeway.
Let me ask you about Hassan Ridgeway, because he's very important for the 49ers. Their nose tackle that's going to start next to Eric Armstead inside is Javon Kinlaw, who first-round pick, very talented player, had a complete ACL reconstruction surgery this offseason and has missed quite a bit of time. So in the event that he can't play the entire season or can't be himself, boom, here comes Hassan Ridgeway. He's the next man up, because the starting nose tackle for the Niners last year was DJ Jones. He went to Denver. So Niner fans need to know about Hassan Ridgeway. Then you know about the wide 9. The Niners use the wide 9 out here, and if those 2 interior guys can't hold up to double teams, you just get gashed up the middle repeatedly. How would he do in that scheme against those double teams in the line?
I think in short bursts, he's very effective, but he's not a guy that you want to play, 50% of the snaps in a game. Yeah, I'm not even sure.
Not even 50?
I don't think I'd go that high. I mean, I would play him, I would use him in a rotation. I mean, I would play him maybe 35, 40% of the snaps. And I think that's how he's going to be most effective. I think his whole career has kind of been spent in that role. So if you're counting on him to kind of step in and play 60, 70% of the defensive snaps, I don't think that's a formula for success with Hassan Ridgeway. Now, listen, like I said, good guy. I think he can play. I just don't know if he can play every down. I think he gets a little bit exposed. I think he gets a little bit worn down. And then injuries are a real thing for him. I mean, he had 2 of his seasons here in Philly. He came over as a free agent, or actually in a trade. The Eagles traded a 7th-round pick to the Indianapolis Colts to bring him here a few years ago. But again, 2 of those years he spent here, finished the season on injured reserve. So that's an issue. And if you have a guy that you're counting on to play 60% of the snaps or more than 50, let's say, that's not good because of his injury history and because I don't think he's ever done it. So that to me is where he might get exposed, is if you have to rely on him to play too much.
Well, I'm looking real quick at the Niners nose tackle from last year, DJ Jones. He played 550 snaps, 51%. That's a little too much to ask of Ridgeway. Well, I guess if Kinlaw stays healthy, he won't have to do that. But
right. He might be able to do 50. Yeah. He might be able to handle it. Again, it's a risk, I think. And again, Ridgeway's the kind of guy you'd probably want to root for to have success. I mean, he's a good person, and I liked him as a person in the locker room, and I liked him on the field too. To me, he seems to get exposed the more he plays, and then he opens himself up to the risk of injury too, the more he plays. So
I see. So the less you use him, the better he'll be. Let me just ask, because again, they probably shouldn't need to use him very much. And if he does get in the rotation, it's to stop the run on 1st and 10. You know what I mean? To stop the run on 2nd and 4.
Exactly.
Can he do that?
Yes, he can do that. And he can give you some pass rush up the middle too. He had a couple sacks. Okay. He does have some explosion to his game, but again, over the course of 80 snaps in a game, you don't want to have him out there for 50 of those. You want to limit his usage, I think, to keep him effective.
Is he the kind of player that looks more explosive in the first quarter than the fourth quarter?
Well, depending on how he's used in the first, second, and third quarter, if you're managing his snaps properly, then he can be a good reliever off the bench in the fourth quarter and give you some good snaps. But I think, again, it's dependent on how he's used in those first 3 quarters. If he's going to,
it'll be interesting. He very well could be a key contributor for the 49ers this season. Yeah.